to see if I can get away with not feeding Jax. But anyway, or not feeding them till after the show. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Did you get what I was saying right there, Marcus? We'll talk about that in a little bit about the new Defiance prospectus, Defiance's latest lie. We'll also talk about the New York trip, and we'll talk about. But I gave an update on the New York trip. Everything's going well. Hopefully, I'll have more news on it soon. Anyway, and we'll talk about Defiance's latest lie. But let's look at the market. Defiance is getting desperate. I think Sylvia's tired of getting her brains beat out, whatever the expression is. Getting her brains beat out by, the AUM of Defiance is dropping and dropping and dropping. And, and then Round Hill's $1 billion fund. So anyway, I think it's getting on Sylvia's nerves. I don't blame her, but this ain't going to fix it. And Sylvia's not going to call me, but she should have. I have a fix for it. I could fix it for you, Sylvia. I could fix it for you, Sylvia. All right. When I'm out in New York, maybe I need to schedule an appointment with Sylvia and go by and talk to her. All right. So ES up 33 basis points. MQ, this is just getting boring, up a quarter basis point. Bitcoin down a little bit, the 10 years down, so everything should be cool. VIX is way down, so VIX and VIVIX are down. What's not to like, right? What's not to like? I tried to close a lot of windows before I came on here. I was up really late again last night. If you guys saw my updates, you guys know what I was doing. All right. Well, that's it for the market. So let's go to the model portfolio and see how I'm doing. Yeah, I had a midnight update last night. It's my midnight at the Oasis update. I'm going to start having a midnight update. I'm just joking. I just happen to be up late. You got to like what ULTY's been doing, but I need to work on the scale because sometimes I get all excited and it's up like 5 basis points. It's just up more than any of the other ones. This time it's up 20, but I'll take it. It's a shame I'm underperforming. I'm going to call BS on that. I'm not underperforming. It's not calculating that right for some reason. I mean, look at this. 20 plus 7 is 27, plus 2 is 29. You subtract 6 and 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. From 29 is 21. I'm up 21 basis points. The SPY's up 26. That's about right. If anything, I may be up 22 basis points because of some of these fractional ones that are up just a little bit. I don't know what the heck's going on with the model portfolio, but not that big of a deal right now. Let's close that window. We don't need it. All right, so let's go to the high yield database. All right, let's see what's happening here. I just added something this morning that I could not believe we didn't have, and that's JPMO. How's JPMO not on here? But I guess when I put it on here, it didn't give me a risk factor, and it needs a year's worth of data to get a risk factor. So that tells me it's less than a year old, but it's more than a quarter old. So we're easily able to put it on here because it's pretty easy to guess that they're at the risk factor for JP Morgan. It's not very high. But I can't hit sort on here, but it's a long story. Let's just look at the chart. If I hit sort, it's going to mess up I'm afraid, and I don't know this yet, that it's going to mess up something I was working on last night. So this is close enough for government work, right? All right, MSFY still number, we can see it looks like NVW's moved up a little bit. Chippy and GP2I have dropped a little bit, whatever. And I have 2 chippies on here that have different numbers. That's great data integrity, Max. That is great data integrity, right? That can't happen. What in the heck? Okay, but anyway, maybe I guessed it 2 different. It's because I had to guess the Holy Grail factor. Gosh darn it. It can't be on here if it's less than a month. We got to find something else to put on here. Isn't put W a fund? Or I'm just trying to think of something I don't have on here. It has to be something else. It can't. I'll put W close. What's a fund that I don't have on here right now? Whenever I need to add one, because I don't want that spot to go away because I have everything in order. Gosh darn it. I'm just going to put it back on for now. I'll have to work on this later. I'm going to put it in small letters instead of capitals, so it catches my eye and I know it's wrong and I remember to do something about it later. Because the other chip will be caps. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to think what I was working on last night. How can I work for 7 hours and not remember what I was working on? I mean, obviously I was working on Python, but I was trying to remember what I was trying to get it to do. Oh, yes. And this is going to be huge. It's going to show on our spreadsheet the top 10 holdings from FinViz. The top 10 holdings from FinViz change every day, so it's pretty accurate. Like I looked at the stock from today, and it already has today's trades in it. And I guess they made the trade at the close yesterday, but I mean, it updates live. So that would be really interesting for me to be able to bring the top 10 positions live into the spreadsheets when we're trying to, into the high yield database when we're trying to evaluate it. Because I have the main database and I have the auxiliary page, and then somewhere over here I want to have the top 10 holdings. Anyway, that's what I was late working on, and it is it's confusing, but I've never done scripting languages before. It's just a different, the only thing I've ever done is HTML, which is kind of a scripting language, but it's a real primitive one. I mean, Python's actually really code, I think, whereas HTML is just a scripting language. So Python's throwing me for a loop. All right, guys. Well, let's look at, but I guess on the main database, it's the usual suspects right here on the chart. I mean, MSFY, MSFO, NFLP, Maggie. And Maggie has an asterisk. Maggie is also, let's look at Maggie. I mean, I like the idea of Maggie, but I also don't think it's been around a quarter. I think I had to guess. It has been around a quarter. See that performance for the quarter, 13.29%, and it is an absolute monster, 13% for the quarter. Heck yes. Look at that. But anyway, so all I'm trying to do is this thing right here. I'm trying to bring this whole thing into the spreadsheet. So we don't have to, because I'm always going back and forth to FinViz to check and see if stuff's right. I'm just trying to make an app that just mines FinViz for you guys and for me too. It's going to help us. It's going to help us all out. All right. Well, what else should we look at? I made some notes here. Defiant. We could talk about Defiance's latest lie. It's not their latest. They aren't really bad about lying, but this time they are. I mean, they're lying. It's not true. They're saying they're releasing a fund with no NAV erosion. And of course, all the other influencers are just going to eat it up. Hey, there's a fund out. No NAV erosion. But you have to understand how NAV erosion works. And it's not really a thing. And so but I'm saying you have to understand really what you're dealing with before you know what you're talking about. I can show a million different ways, and I will, that this thing is going to be capped. It's going to be partially capped in the same way yield max is. But anyway, just to catch everyone up, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. It's still going to be better than round yield, or I mean, as far as the capped goes. Let's look at this. So right here, this is what I woke up this morning, bleary-eyed, and I was looking at. Thanks for also Yield Boost posted. We need to look at the Yield Boost dividends. Bleary-eyed, and Bo is my SEC guy, and he posted, which I really appreciate because he hangs out over in Rod's and other Discords, I think. And like I say, I really don't anymore. I really don't because it's not cool for other, Rod doesn't hang out in our, Discord. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, I mean, he's welcome to, but he's not just going to hang out there and just spam my timeline. And I'm not going to do that to him anymore, but Bo's welcome to do that and then bring stuff that he hears over here. The problem is that Rod's Discord has a lot of good stuff. While I was spamming their timeline, I was also getting a lot of good tips and stuff too. So anyway, all right. So here's the thing. It's the new Defiance. These are triple QY. So this is the this started off selling naked puts, which was awesome. And it made a ton of yield, had a ton of buffer. But then Jay bowed to the pressure from the anti-high yield, anti-woke high yield crowd, whatever the woke anti-high yield crowd. They're terrible. They're just like the mainstream media or the Democrats. They're the worst. I mean, it's just all propaganda and it's all BS. I'm just joking about the Democrats, guys. My mom was a Democrat, and lots of people I love are Democrats. I'm just joking. Hey, there's room to go around all over the political spectrum. I mean, there's room for blame all over the spectrum, of course. Okay, but Jay did bow to pressure from the anti-high yield crowd, and he's been doing different things to these. He made them go weekly. But anyway, all I'm saying is every time he's done stuff to him, every little change has got a little bit more upside because he's taking the yield down with the changes. Same thing they did with Yield Max. But the good thing about the original triple QI is it had the highest buffer out there. It did the best in a pullback. That's no longer going to be the case because now they're switching it to a 30% fund. So Roundhill pays about 30%. Roundhill drops a lot in a pullback, and so will this now. This won't drop less than Roundhill anymore in a pullback. They're trying to make it where it goes up as much as Roundhill in a good market, I believe. You know, they're like I say, Sylvia's tired of getting her brains beat out, and I get it. But it doesn't mean you can lie. Look, they just struck this line. So the fund's secondary objective is to seek exposure to performance of the NASDAQ index, subject to limit on potential gains. And so other influencers are going to read that and eat that up and stuff. And it's sad. But there's no such thing. That's like creating light without heat. If you're in my Discord, I wrote about it. Go read it. There's no such thing as no limit on potential gains because they're still selling call options. Here's the problem with these guys. They're just doing call spreads. It says it on here somewhere. Go look at it yourself if you want to read it. But yeah, so here it is. Under the fund's new principal investment strategies, the fund will seek to provide current income by maintaining long exposure. So I guess this is different. So they're going to buy the stock and they're going to sell a call option spread. But this is SPY T. It's SPY T that pays 30 instead of 20. Does SPY T have no cap on gains? No, it doesn't. It's capped. It's uncapped above a certain point, but this thing's going to be even less uncapped than SPY T. You know, and there's no way Jay's behind this. This is somebody in the marketing department or something. Jay knows all this stuff, but this is not right. Like I say, next time I talk to Jay, I'll challenge him on this. So I'll give him, maybe he's right. I mean, I'll give him a chance to make his case, but he's wrong. Or the person that wrote this prospectus is wrong. There's no such thing. Now, the lightning spread, you could say that on the lightning spread, and it would be honest. Lightning spread is truly uncapped. My goat spread is truly uncapped. Yet to be released goat spread, but these spreads are not uncapped. They're an improvement. There's no doubt they're an improvement. But anyway, all right, guys. What else do we have to talk about? I'll take comments from you guys. I want to check in with you guys and see what's up. But I mean, I need to make a whole video about it, but I could get in the back tester and I could show you every different way, and I could show you where it's capped and the degree it's capped. We could go back 5 years and you could see this is the less. I mean, it's and maybe that'll make a good video. I love those kind of videos, but they don't really get that many views. But if it helps you guys, I'd be happy to do it. None of my videos get very many views. So I'm thinking about starting to play music. I was talking about Midnight at the Oasis last night because it was midnight. I should have just put it on in the background. I'm demonetized anyway. When I get 14 views, it doesn't put any money in the account. You know what I'm saying? So I may just start playing music, or start using background. Or if I want to talk about background music, I'm not afraid to put it on. I'm just going to put it on. Anyway, all right. Well, good morning, Mark. Good morning, Marcus. Okay. Also, the tariff situation in March did not help the people's opinion on these ETFs. Correct. Even though last year they could do no wrong. Yeah, sentiment is fickle. Exactly. All it is, it's like I say, let's even break it down. Forget about the calls, forget about the call spreads, forget about the unlimited upside, forget about all that stuff. All of these things need the market to go up. If you have a spring like we did in March and April, it's gonna hurt any type of fund that's selling premium. Some less than others, but it's just the way it goes. But if you have a year where the market drifts up all year, yeah, people are going to love these because they're going to get their incremental upside or whatever. It won't be as much as the parent asset, but it'll still be all right because everything's going up. The other thing is these people that have high yield spreads also have the parent asset. So when people are happy when everything's going up, anyway. But yeah, that's a good point, Marcus. I'm not trying to be too negative on these. Like I say, these might still be better than the competition and are. I mean, you could say these are less capped than Roundhill, but there's no cap on investment gains. And if you want to, and the way I proved it is, or another way to prove it, you go look at the Yield Max prospectus. Max does the same strategy. Have exposure. Theirs is through a synthetic, but they have exposure, and then they sell a call spread. And you look at their prospectus, and it does not say. It says that it has a cap on it. So the only difference is the synthetic versus the stock. And don't even get me started on that, because that really makes me mad. Like I said, don't even get me started, but there's zero difference. In fact, if anything, the synthetic's better because of the synthetic bell-lash for actually trading and doing what they're trying to do, financialize these type of transactions. The synthetic is actually better, but the math is the same, is my point. There's no extra upside. There's no like, oh, we got the stock, we got full upside. Nope. Don't work that way. Does not work that way. Unless you just don't sell options. If you want full upside, just go buy the stock and don't write any options. Bingo, you got full upside, right? Or go, or get blocks. BLOX, the stocks that BLOX owns should get full upside. Selling a put spread should not impede the upside one bit. If anything, it adds to the upside. So, actually though, and my brain, I'm always working on these problems, and I just thought of a scenario, and I can see their point though. I mean, my brain just flipped my argument around in my head, and there's another side to it too. So we'll let Jay have a say. All right, guys. Well, what else is up? I'm glad you guys are here this morning. There's 5 of you here. I really appreciate it. Let's see what else we can get in the middle of. Let's look at option strat and see how that. What was the one trade we talked about yesterday? It was Micron, right? Let's see how it did. One of the best ways to try to prove, for me, I mean, I'm always trying to disprove. I'll say something, then I'll try to prove myself wrong. But isn't that what doctors do too? Or isn't that called the Socratic method or something? But I'm always trying to. I mean, so after I did that whole rant, my brain, and I've even forgot what it was, but just for like 2 seconds, my brain flipped and I thought about it the other way. It had to do with the lightning spread not being fully capped. You can, a person, and Jay might make this point. I'll do it on a full show because it's too complicated for the scope of this, but I guess you could make the point that there, I guess it's, I don't know what they're saying. In other words, the way I'm just thinking about it is, if what I'm saying is true about the new strategy, what I'm saying about the lightning spread can't be true. I mean, because it's kind of complicated, but so anyway, maybe I'm wrong. I'm always willing to listen to arguments. If you guys got one, give it to me, and that's what it's all about. I don't think there are really any, and I've gotten problems with this my whole life. Some people believe there's a single right answer. I don't believe there's a single right answer for anything. I think everything is on a continuum, is on degrees. All right. Micron up $161. Let's see what happened here. We aren't in the bonus territory. We're just right here that's fine though. It's the way it's designed to work. Made about a 15% dividend. Or, assuming it doesn't drop from here more than 6.1%, but at this point, it's a 95% chance of profit. So anyway, nice job. I don't know if there's really much else we're looking at. This play for higher prices. This should be working out. I mean, it's working out all right. Remember, we had the 606 and we made a couple $100 on that, got rid of it, and then rolled out to the 615. So we have today, which is already, anyway, so we have the 27th and the 30th. We have 3 full days after today. Now let's see what the odds are of profit on here, and let's see where the standard deviation is for the one standard deviation move is right here. Should be about $107 profit. Of course, we're playing for a more than one standard deviation move when you do this type of trade. So we'll see. Anyway, so that's that one. SB idea. I forget even what that one was. Let's just look at that. I was just showing him something. I don't know. Anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about? Let's listen to what Marcus says. Like I've said before, it's a matter of diversification. YOLOing your entire portfolio into triple QI is never a viable thing to do. Yeah. But even if from the beginning I've said no more than 20%, even somebody that listened to me that would have, if they would have just put 20% of their portfolio the day it came out, you'd be underperforming on that 20%. Correct. But you'd had some pretty good buffer over those years, and you'd be up. Let's look at triple QI since inception. But yeah, it's too risky to put 100% of your portfolio on. It's like really 20% is high too. But I knew there was people that want that because a lot of people don't have that many assets. If you only have $100,000 of assets, 20% is just 20,000. I mean, these people are the one that quit their job, but have a $200,000 retirement or $300,000 retirement. It's really tough. But even 20% sounds crazy high. And really, my thing was 20% comprised of at least 5 of them, right? I mean, that's what I've always been saying. So let's look at it compared to QILD, which is more of a sane, less buffer, but more of a sane type strategy. We'll just compare it since inception that's since October 15th, but let's go back to 2023. But yeah, Marcus, it comes down to diversification, and it comes down to you got to have the market go up. These things are bullish investments. That's the market doesn't go up. There's nothing you can do. Like I say, some of these do better on the downside because, like Alti, for instance, they do callers. So they're, they have those puts. So they do better, but they're still going to get murdered in the down market. They just won't lose quite as much. All right. So, I mean, this is since inception. I mean, people ring me out for recommending this fund to people and stuff. I mean, I got so much shit for this. It started at 56. It's at 25, but it's paid $38 in dividends. I mean, it's up 14%. Where another fund's up 18%. A more of a sane fund. This fund right here pays about 1/4 of the dividend though, so it gets more upside. Just the way it works. If that's why I've always said the biggest thing about these high yield things, use as little as possible, because all of them impede the upside to some degree compared to just the Qs. All of them. I could put all of them, but none of them are beating the Qs. Not even XDTE. Not over any amount of time. It beat it for 6 months last year or something, or QDT or whatever. So why would you ever want one that has a lower? And the only reason is to get the amount of income you need. These are only for income. They aren't for growth. So you can use triple QI. You just need to use 1/4 as much of it as you do QILD. Okay. So QILD has better total return. Okay. But you have to use 4 times as much. Once you factor the 4 times as much in, there's no free money. Since there's no free money, it's all about the same difference. It's close. All right, guys. So I thought this is a pretty good show. I like talking about these things. I don't know if everyone else likes it as much. I could get in the back tester and we could do a back test, and I could show you the SPY-T method and the 20% thing. Then I could show you the 30% thing. Then I could show you something truly unlimited, like I'm going to say truly unlimited, but like the lightning spread or like my goat spread. Maybe just do that. If you guys will watch that, or I don't care if you guys watch, but I want you to watch, but I don't care if it gets 100 views. I'll do that. We'll get in the back tester and I'll do that. Be looking for that video in a while. But yeah, Marcus, you got it. It's about diversification. It's staying small. Well, it's the same thing Tasty Trade does. Because here's the other thing. At the core, what you're doing is selling options. You're paying other people to do it for you. But so what does Tasty Trade say? Tasty Trade is the world's experts on, there'll never be a better influencers as far as selling premium goes. There's nothing. Those guys do not understand about selling premium, and they say stay small. Because in other words, they're even admitting it. It's just, selling premium can get you in trouble. Stay small, stay diverse, You guys know. You guys watch Tasty Trade also, I'm sure. How's SDTY doing? Okay, well, let's look at that. Let's look at that, Marcus. You're the only one in SDTY. Yeah, maybe so. Without even looking, I can tell you how it should be doing because of the strategy. It may not have been around long enough for the strategies math to work its way, but anyway. So what was it, Q or X? I think he said Q, QI or Q, or is it SDTY? Let's just look at SD. We'll look at both of them, SDTY and WDTE. Okay, so SDTY picked a bad time to release a fund. Hey, we're going to bring out a fund on February 6th, 2025. How does that sound? No bueno. But I mean, you didn't know it at the time. Oh, we kind of did. The people that we weren't super bullish in January and February, I don't believe, were we? Anyway, these funds aren't about timing the market, as you guys know. So what happened? Oh, look, WDT got less downside. Yeah, because it's going to always be the biggest buffer that's ever. I mean, it's still to this day, even though Jay's bowed to the anti-high yield crowd, it still has more buffer than anything else I know. So SDTY was designed not to be very safe on the downside because it's designed to hopefully go up faster. Was the whole idea. They're doing other things to it. It hasn't been out long enough for that to work, but over any amount of time, yes, SDTY should be up more than WDTE over a long enough period of time. Let's just go off the lows. Let's just go off the April. Let's just type in April 8th, and we'll do April 8th, 2025. And I would think SDTY should be ahead, and they are a little bit. And it's just you know this just by the way they're built. Like I say, the odds don't always work themselves out over any short time frame. Anything can happen, but over a long enough time frame, yeah, this is going to have more upside than WDT. Now, this won't have more upside than the new WDTE. The new WDTE, I think, would be about like this. Now, let's see, and you know how we can tell? And we can tell because if SDTY pays a 30% yield, then I'm going to say WDT, the new version of WDTE, will be exactly the same. The yield is what impedes the upside. So, but let's see what kind of yield SDTY pays. So it's a fifth of a year, and it's 286. So we're going to make that 3. So 3 times 5 is 15, but we're going to take off a buck because that one was a little bit short. So we're going to call that 14. So $14 on $40. That's about a third, right? 14, 20. Yeah, it's about a third. So that's about 30%. And this one right now is paying a little bit more, but we can just look at it. 250. So that's $12.50 on $31. That's a little bit more. That's about 40%. That's more than a third. This pays a third. This pays a little bit more. So whenever Jay bows again to the anti-high yield wokesters and ruins this fund again, it should have the same upside as this. 30% is 30%. I mean, it should be similar. It should be in the same ballpark. Now let's I don't know. Marcus may have said Q. Let's look. It was SDTY. Okay. And that's where SPUT comes in play. So let's go look at SPUT, Marcus. Let's see how your SPUT's doing. Let's compare SPUT to Defiance. I mean, I don't think SPUT's is too new, right? Okay, Defiance is beating SPUT on the upside. SPUT that barrier option is like selling out of the money options. It's a little bit of a variance, but selling out of the money options should be traditionally safer, but less upside. So just from the build, I think that's what we would expect. So SPUT's working well for you. Let's compare SPUT to SDTY just for fun. It should be okay. Well, anyway, SPUT's for safety. Correct. Good job. SPUT is for safety. All right, guys. Like I say, I thought this was a good show. I appreciate there's 7 of you here. I really do. I'll have a show at the end of the day. I'm going to go back into Python mode, into working on into panicking for I want to talk about New York quick. I don't know if you guys saw my quick New York update. All right. So you guys know that I used to a long time ago, I was, 8 years ago, I had drug problems. Well, drug and alcohol problems. Well, I really have high anxiety, and you probably noticed the high anxiety before, and the manic. Sometimes I tend to be a little bit manic. Well, anyway, the other night I was getting overwhelmed about the New York trip because somehow I screwed up and lost my driver's license. I swear it's around here somewhere, but I got so tired of looking for it, I just went and got a new one. Now, there's a chance that I find the one that's lost. And when it's the second I do, but I made a video last night. I said, if you guys are thinking about donating, don't send me any money right now. Because I don't want your money if I don't end up going. If the license doesn't come here, I don't want to get $100 from you guys. No, I would feel so guilty. I don't need money, but if I end up going to New York, that's an extra expense. It's kind of for the station, and we'll get a lot of good information on it. So anyway, well, all I was saying is save your money. I appreciate everyone that's offered to help, but save your money when the license gets here. I find the other one. Not going to worry about it. I can't control it. What I'm saying is when I finally got off drugs and alcohol, what I realized is I can't control everything. Everything's going to work out the way it's going to work out. My license will get here when it gets here, if it's meant to be. The last time that I did this about 2 years ago, I lost my license, and they said 14 days. It took about 7 days to get here. So as soon as my license gets here, I'll tell you guys about it. If anyone wants to make a donation, that'd be awesome. If you don't, that's fine too. No pressure. But I'll give you an update as it happens. I'll let you know. Also, like I said in my thing, I'm supposed to see my nephew, and I'm supposed to see a friend when I'm out there. So and of course Jay and Rod and all those people are friends. Coach is a friend now. So I'm cannot wait to go. So I'm not gonna get manic or worry about it or get upset about it. It'll work out, right? All right. Yeah. Well, when I say anxiety, have you ever noticed how maybe I hide that well, but I get manic and I get angry, like when I don't share my screen or something. That's not, I get manic and something goes wrong and it gets me more upset than it should or something. It's just manic. By the same token, manic goes both ways. I also get happier about stuff than I should. Sometimes I see something and it's the greatest thing ever. Anyway, I'm just trying to, you just have to know. They always say in recovery, it says on the little chip they give you, it says, know thyself, know thy own self or something. And it's true. So anyway, like I say, if it's meant to be, it'll be, but I don't want to get any more money. I've already had a couple of generous donations, and I've actually used them to get, to buy. I got Option Strat. I got stuff for the station. I paid bills with those, but don't send in any more money, because if I don't end up going, I don't need your money. I don't want you guys' money. I was thinking about it. My monetization scheme. They always talk on YouTube when you're trying to make a good channel about your monetization scheme. My monetization scheme is if I get invited to New York, I'll ask for money, and if I don't need any. I don't want any. Times are tough for everybody, right? All right, guys. In other words, if I don't go to New York, save the money you would have given me. We'll do some option trades with it. I'll do some with you, and we'll try to make $1,000 or something off 200 or something, right? All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hit me up in Discord if there's anything you want to talk about. All right. See ya.